We have new details in the Karen Read murder case. During the months-long trial, there were nearly daily demonstrations outside the courthouse in Dedham.
Yeah, we saw them play out, right? They got heated and tense. And now we're learning there were extra security costs associated with those. So NBC 10's Jeff Saperstone is in the newsroom with more on that and new filings, Jeff, from the prosecution ahead of a critically important hearing.
Yeah, we're learning details about that less than 3 weeks to the Supreme Judicial Court hearing. They will hear those arguments about whether the case against Karen Read should be retried. The Norfolk DA's office has now filed that 77-page brief to the SJC. It argues charges against Read shouldn't be dismissed because a verdict was never declared in open court, so she was never acquitted. Read's attorneys say she can't be retried because a group of jurors contacted the defense saying they were unanimous in finding her not guilty of second-degree murder and leaving the scene of an accident. We spoke to 2 legal analysts who believe the Commonwealth will prevail.
The prosecution is on stronger ground here legally, but there's always a slight chance that the Supreme Judicial Court may want to break new ground here.
To be honest, I think the SJC is probably going to uphold the ruling and allow the jury trial to commence again in January.
So again, that will happen in January. Meantime, we are learning the case cost taxpayers $258,000 for that tightened security in and around the courthouse. Of course, all of those protests that happen outside, and then there's another trial happening in January. Most of those costs were in state police overtime. Oral arguments before the Supreme Judicial Court will take place on November 6th. Coming up at 5:30, hear what Karen Read is saying in her own words about the night she's accused of hitting and killing her boyfriend, John O'Keefe. Live in the newsroom, Jeff Saperstone, NBC 10 Boston.
Jeff, thanks so much. Look, we're going to have the latest analysis on the case with a new edition of Canton Confidential tonight. You can watch past episodes from Read's mistrial by scanning the QR code that's on your screen. Catch the latest installment at 7 p.m.
And then at 9 o'clock, it's a special 2-hour episode of Dateline. They are highlighting the Karen Read case and the murder of John O'Keefe. Our very own Sue O'Connell will be featured in this episode, along with a few other familiar faces. You do not want to miss it.